Hello, everyone in Facebook world. It's Jared Ty, the mortgage guy in McKinney, Texas. I've been originating home loans for 11 years, and I've been blessed to help over 1,000 families finance their homes during that time. Enough about me, though. I'd like to talk to you about 6 common myths in home buying. So we'll just jump right in here. Number one myth is that you need 20% down payment to get a mortgage. You can do as little as 3.5% down on an FHA loan, perhaps 5% down on a conventional loan. So you could certainly purchase a home with much less than 20% down. Of course, there are closing costs on top of those down payments, but it's still going to be well under 20%. The second myth of home buying that I'd like to talk about is that you need to have wonderful credit in order to qualify for a home. On an FHA loan, you can purchase a home with as little as a 600 credit score, so much lower than many would believe would be required. Third myth in home buying that I'd like to talk about is that you can save money by not using a real estate agent. A real estate agent is a very crucial part of the process. When you're purchasing a home, your agent is actually paid by the seller, not by you. And buying a home without an agent is like going to court without an attorney. You need to have a professional who's representing you and who's making sure that you get the best value for your money. Fourth myth of home buying that I'd like to talk about is that it's cheaper to rent than it is to buy. Rent prices have skyrocketed, as you probably know, over the past few years. And the cost of renting on average is very similar to the cost of having a mortgage. Of course, you have higher upfront fees with a mortgage, with the purchase of a home. But if you're planning to own the home for maybe 4 or 5 years, it certainly makes sense to own over renting. Fifth myth of home buying that I'd like to talk about is that you should buy the maximum amount that you qualify for on your mortgage. This is not necessarily the case. When you are looking at purchasing a home, it's very important to look at what kind of a monthly payment you are comfortable with, what kind of a payment you have made in the past, perhaps on rent, and again, not necessarily buy the most expensive home you qualify for. In addition to price, the area that you buy in is very, very important. I've seen cases where someone is happier in a less expensive home that's in an area that better suits their needs. So again, just because your lender says you will qualify for it doesn't mean that that's necessarily the amount of home that you wish to buy. The sixth and final myth of home buying that I'm going to touch on today is that the down payment funds have to be seasoned in your bank account, that they have to be your own money that you've had for a while. We do allow gifts. So if perhaps you have a family member who is willing to help with your down payment, that is perfectly acceptable in the mortgage world. So again, I'm Jared Ty, the mortgage guy with First Bank Home Loans, and these have been the 6 myths of home buying, and I hope that the information was useful. Feel free to send me a message with any questions or reach out anytime. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you.